In statics, beams can be held up by a multitude of different supports. And each of those supports have reaction forces. And I'm just going to go over those really quickly. So first, we have something called a pin connection. And it looks like this, like a little hump with a pin. It's on the ground, and there's a beam attached to it. It's holding up our beam here. And the reactions produced by this are we have a force in the y direction, Fy, and we have a force in the x direction, Fx. So when you do your free body diagram, you would replace this pin connection with these two forces. And when solving for other forces, they would be included in it, right? Next, there's something called a roller. And a roller looks exactly like a pin connection, but it has little wheels underneath here. And that changes the degrees of freedom of our beam. So our forces are different. And our roller here only has one force, and it's a force in the y direction, F of y, and that's it. So if you see a roller, you would replace it with a force in the y direction. And a roller can also look like this, or if a beam is just on the ground like this, and you see it has like a more of a circular edge to it, you would replace it with a force in the y direction. So beams can also be fixed to walls. So if we had a wall here and then a beam fixed to it on the left side, we would actually get a force in the x direction. So Fx, we'd get a force in the y direction, Fy, and that's all at this point, right? And we would also get a moment called MA, we'll call this point A moment about this point A on the beam here. So remember, for a fixed beam, a fixed end, we would get a force in the x direction, a force in the y direction, and a moment as well. And there's another thing called a rocker. It just kind of looks like a triangle like this, and our beam is allowed to rock on it. Hence the name rocker, and we would get just a force in the y direction, just like the roller. So that's it. I wanted to make that as quick and brief as possible. Make sure to subscribe. Have a great rest of your day.